I came west to my little site today, and I got paid to the garage. And didn't the neighbours come out to say hello? Hello, aren't they gorgeous? Aren't they grand little lads? Look at the little lambs. Yeah, that's lovely. That's what it's like living in the country. I came down I came west, taking a few hours out today. A great old farm, great for the head. And that was the last patch that I painted. That needs a second coat, but now I'm after clearing everything on this side. So I got it paid though this half today, and then come back later and do all that area second coat. That's my plan. Yeah, beautiful day here. It's Friday. No, it's not Friday, it's Monday. Monday what? Monday I don't know what date it is anymore. It's Monday the 23rd maybe or something like that. Yeah, the neighbours look. Hello, how are you lads? Huh? How are you doing lads? Isn't that lovely, look? And they're around with their mammy. Around with their mam. Isn't nature wonderful? Isn't it? You know, mam looking after you. Oh, she's taking a whiz. Lovely. Go on, we'll talk later. No, so it's about 2:30. 2:30 now, and I've been to Bantry and everything. I gave it kind of one coat. I said I'd show it to you. You know what? I'd like to keep track of it myself. That's half the garage done now. We're just, yeah, exactly half, because that upright there will be halfway point. So that's after getting 2 coats. And all I need to do now is let that dry, and then move everything that's down this end up there, then paint this side, and when I have this side done here, then the whole floor will be painted. I'll then start sorting out the stuff properly and putting tools away and all that kind of stuff, and then I can start bringing the stuff from Bantry and sorting that. Need to put up a small bit more shelving there, and I need to build a stud in the corner because there's supposed to be a toilet going there. But yeah, that's my morning's work. I'm going back now to Barney's, and I must get myself, do some paperwork and stuff. So that's it. We'll talk again soon. It's Tuesday the 24th now of March, and exactly a week after Paddy's Day, and I'm on my way up to Cork. So I got new microphones, and I said I'd try them out. It's a right horrible fucking day. The rain is unbelievable, but I got new microphones, and I said, you know what, I said I'm going to try them out and see, are they working. So this is one of them on here, look, you can see it there. This is my 4th time trying the mics now. I made a few short videos when I was driving along there a few times, and when I played back the sound wasn't working. So, you know what I decided to do? After 3 attempts and it not working, I decided I'd read the instructions. So that's what I've done, and hopefully this time now, I hope that I'm an authority on them now, so I think I've it done right this time, so hopefully it's working. That's where we are. We're less than 2 weeks away now from, we're about 12 days away from Easter Sunday, and I'm still hoping to try and get Barnett's up and running before Easter. But there's a lot of things outside of my control. I've ordered stock, and there's very little of it after arriving so far, but we'll see what will happen next week. Easter Friday being on a Friday, if I had the stock in the shop maybe the Wednesday before that, I'd get going for Saturday. It'll take a few days, so I'd get going for Easter Saturday. Anyway, those kind of things are outside my control, so we'll have to we'll just have to go with that. We'll have to go on that journey regardless, and just go along as a passenger and see if we get the stock into the shop, we can take back control and have a and like I say, to take things back into control ourselves, and then we can reopen. Something I was thinking about, you know, that I've been seriously thinking about for a while now, for a long while, and I said I'm going to put it into a video, because this now will be number 16, and depending on the way that the videos go and the way the amount of views I get, and if I get any few followers more on YouTube and stuff, this may or may not be the last video for a while, you know. So I said now is the time to talk about this. I'm thinking seriously about going for a hair transplant. Now when I say hair, I mean the hairs on the top. So I keep looking down at my mic now, make sure that it's working. I'm talking about the hairs on the top of my head, and I'm talking what the procedure is. And just to be clear about it, anybody that knows me anyway knows, if you got up close to me, I'm thinning fairly well on top here. My hairline has gone away up high. Now I've always had a high hairline, but I now have a really nice crow's nest here, and on top of the crown, and the hairline is coming up, and it's going to meet the crow's nest one of these days, and in a very short space of time I'm going to have what they call what I would call a Prince William baldness, where I have loads of hair all around here in the back, but not loads, but plenty of hair, and a big kind of a horseshoe, the whole top of my head bald. So I always said, you know, that I would grow old and bald gracefully, and realistically I thought that I'd be gone bald a lot sooner than now. I'm 55 years old, and I thought that I would be 10 years ago I'd be at this stage. So I am thankful for having it or holding on to it for as long as I possibly could. But now that it's happening, I'm not taking it very well. Now, some people say it's been happening a long time, which it has, but it really has accelerated in the last 12 months, most probably because of a lot of stress in my life and everything else. So I've been looking into ways that maybe, I mean, the idea of wearing a wig anyway, that's not something I would do. Like, I think, you know, wigs look really nice on women, and can, you know, hair pieces, they can get some really high quality ones. You couldn't tell the difference, is what I'm saying. But from a man's point of view, God save us men, go in, they get these things, they're like minks, they put them on top of their head, and or like carpets, and I would have no interest in anything like that. So I'd rather be bald than that. But there is a procedure going where they take hairs from the back and side of your head where you have hair, and they transplant them onto the top of your head. And I'm seriously thinking about going for one of them. Like, you know, I'm only 55. I'd like to live a long time, and I genuinely wouldn't mind a small bit more hair now here. That's kind of what I'm on about, and it's kind of a big thing to me. Like, and I'm talking to men now and about men that I have friends and they're bald, and bald suits them. It really does. They look really well with it. They rock bald head, we'll say. I have other friends then, and to be fair, they can't help it. They're gone bald and it doesn't suit them. And like, I'm a big believer in anything in life. Problem, this over here, solution there. And if there's a solution to the problem, because there's not always a solution to the problem, to whatever problem you might have, but if there's a solution to the problem and it's within your grasp and you can afford it, and it's makes, you know, like that, the trade-off is that small bit of discomfort, but the end result is that something positive you might solve the problem. I'm a great believer in that you should do it, and we're now living in a world where this is quite common, and they can do great things. And like, it's not as if they're transplanting the hair from it's not as if they're transplanting the hair off my balls, or transplanting hair from a horse onto the top of my head, or indeed transplanting hair from another human being onto my head. This is your own hair that they're taking out, and they're just reapplying it to the top of your head. Now, I am a complete realist in the sense that I won't have enough donor hair. You see, the hairs that they take out, the donor hairs, they don't regrow back, so they can only just take every second or third one of them, or else you start looking bald and thin on the sides and the back. So I'm not going to have enough donor hairs to completely cover everything I want to cover. But if I could get some kind of a hairline here back, and I'll still be thin on top, on the crown, and maybe still have a bit of a crow's nest peeking through. I think that's kind of the pattern. Because I've been speaking with a hair clinic, a few hair clinics actually, where you send over loads of photographs, and they had do an assessment on one of these Zoom calls or whatever, and talk realistically to you about your expectations and what they can do. So I'm seriously thinking about it, and I'm going, if I do it, I'm going to do it out in the open, in front of everybody, in front of the camera, because there is maybe in some circles a bit of a taboo about it, and I would be probably one of the first people. There was a time of day in my life where I'd be one of the first people that if I heard a man was going for a transplant, I'd be saying, "Here, for God's sake, what's wrong with him? Why can't he just shave his head?" But then, when it starts happening to you, I don't care who you are. It's not who you are. It's just not nice, and it's psychological and everything. And like, we're living in an age now where, like, to be fair, women are sticking needles in every part of them, and all kinds of stuff into themselves, and like, the only reason that they're doing that is because they're obviously not happy with themselves. They're not happy in themselves, and they're going out trying to solve the problem and become more confident. And in fairness, I do agree with it now and accept that there was a time when I would have been totally on the other side, going, for God's sake, that's crazy, what are they doing? Now, it doesn't matter whether I think they look well after it or not, because that's a separate issue. But they're doing it because they're doing it for themselves and to feel confident and happy. And as long as that is the end result in themselves, sure, that's so what? And I commend them and shake their hand for it. And I think it's only fair and decent that if they can, if they're not feeling happy in themselves, and there's a procedure that they can take or do, whatever that procedure is, that makes them feel happy and confident again, sure, fuck it, and fuck the begrudgers. And I'm thinking the same for myself, like, in the sense that from a man point of view as well, men by and large would not get very much cosmetic surgery that I know about anyway. But a big thing for men is balding, and I suppose I'm thinking, I'm really seriously, I'm doing this for myself, not doing it for anyone else. I'm not doing it because I'm single now or divorced, or because I may or may not possibly be thinking about finding another partner, but because I'm not doing it for them. I'm not doing it for a future partner. I'm not doing it to try and attract somebody. I'm actually doing it for myself, because every morning, not every morning, but we all wake up. Every single human being wakes up, certainly in the Western world, and we, first thing in the morning we'll do is we look in the looking glass, and what we see is ourselves looking back at us. And while the majority, the rest of the world could tell us, "Oh Christ, you look fine, there's no fear, you look fine," we look in the mirror, and if we're not happy and content with what we see, regardless of what anyone else sees, it affects our mind, And I suppose that's like, look, this is not affecting my mind or my mental health in any bad way, but it's just bugging me, and I would like to and I suppose I'm eyeing it up now and saying it's now or never. If I'm going to do this, I have to do it now, while I have enough hairs to transplant, and this is my time, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm seriously thinking about it, and of course if I'm going to have it done, I'm heading to Turkey, because it's affordable out there, and it's the expertise is out there. Like there's Jesus, they're doing tens of thousands of hair transplants from people all over the world every year, and it's affordable, is what I'm trying to say. I'd imagine that I think the figures are around, and I know that it's not that I think, I know the figures are around, including if I was to fly over the flights and have the operation, because that's what it is, and fly home, and the hotels and the taxis and the whole shooting gallery, I'd be done and dusted for about 4,000 euro. Back home, done and dusted. And because I'm not a very wealthy man now, but it's something that I could have saved up for and afford, and definitely figure that much out. And the trade-off is that down the line I might end up with a hairline, or like what you're looking at now is not my hairline. This is starting about 3 or 4 inches back here. I'm just growing this forward. This is like one of these comb-over things, My hairline is way back there, and this thing, when I go to the barbers, I want to let them touch the top of my head because there's nothing there, like. And I actually tell you a very good one. I'll have to switch this off now, and I'll switch it on again, and we'll finish the conversation. Just give me 1 second. Right, I'm back. I'll tell you a very good one. I was inside getting my hair cut last week, the barbers, and your hair is fucked when the bar at the end of the haircut, because he just a number 4 is what I get, side and backs, and I don't let him touch the top, just take the tiniest bit off the top, and the haircut is €25. It has been for a long time. And when I went to pay, he said, "Oh, look, just give me €20." He said, because there wasn't a whole lot of work in it, like. So I said to him, I actually said to him, "You've made up my mind for me." He said, and he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm booking a flight to Istanbul. When the barber's giving you €5 off because you haven't enough hair to cut. It's time to be seriously thinking about either trying to fix the problem or shave your head." So that's what I'm thinking about. Now, you're going to be watching this, the way the videos are working out, you'll be watching this sometime around the middle of May or thereabouts. That's when the number 16 will be going live. And that's if there's anybody watching it at all. But like I said, this will probably be the last one for a while, so you'll have to wait and see whether I actually go for it or not. And if I do, I suppose I'll be posting on Instagram about it. But that's my story. I'm feeling I'm doing it for myself. I think men need to do more for themselves, and put themselves, maybe be selfish, a little bit selfish sometimes, because men are, and I'm advocating for men now. Men are there's a real battle, not a battle, I shouldn't say that, but there is between the two sexes, between men and women, where women are all posturing for position, really, I suppose. And there should be no need for that, because there's plenty of room on the podium for both sexes. But men, like, when it comes to personal health, is that what I'm looking for? Personal, looking after themselves, their hair and their procedures for their bodies and their faces and all the rest of it. And I think men are certainly take a back seat to all of that because they just don't. Maybe there's a bit of a taboo about it, and they're kind of half afraid of what the lads will say, and maybe getting mocked over stuff and all of that. And I don't think there's any. I think that needs to change really. And I'm going to, especially men my age, maybe younger men now, maybe it's different. But it must be very difficult too, because you see a lot of young fellas there and they're thinning, their hair is going in their early 20s. And what I would say to them, if there's any of them watching this, problem, solution. And that's the advice I would give to most people in life. Whatever the problem is that you're facing, whatever personal issue or problem or whatever's making you feel down or whatever's making you lack confidence, look at the solutions. And if the solutions are doable and graspable, don't be one bit afraid to stand up and say, yeah, I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to have a go at sorting it. And like the worst thing that can possibly happen is that it'll fail. The planting spuds and the crop will fail, and I'll have to shave my head regardless. So if I don't go for the transplant, I'm going to have to shave my head anyway. And like, don't get me wrong, there's no problem with shaved heads and bald and stuff, but I suppose it's personal to everyone. And if I can avoid it, I want to. And Jesus, I don't have a whole pile going for me at the moment. I'm well into the 50s. I'm carrying a lot of weight, and I'm balding, and I'm almost broke. I'm not almost broke, but I'm not. That's not fair. But it's there's a lot of things, So this is something I can do myself. I can solve one of those problems. The other problem is I could pull back from the table and lose weight, but I don't seem to be able to manage that at all. I wish there was a transplant that I could take that would fucking sort that problem. You see, there's problem and solution. I look at that problem, I look at the solution, and the solution from the outside looks doable, and you would say, good God, that's a simple solution. People say to you, or look, pull back from the table. But Christ, when you love your food as much as I do, and love all the wrong types of food, it's not as easy. And I was never big on exercising, to be honest with you. I just was never big on it. I couldn't get into it. And people said that's great for your mental health, running and walking and hopping and skipping and jumping. And they're all swimming now, throwing themselves into the tide. And it's helping them, it's helping people, it's helping their mental health. It would have the complete opposite effect on me. The thought of getting up or going down and throwing myself into the tide below Skull would drive my anxiety level so high that I'd say I couldn't sleep for a week before it. It's just different, like different people. I'm whatever way my wiring is, it's different. And there has to be more like me. I wish I could motivate myself to go out and get fit and exercise, I enjoy a walk in the morning, and that's kind of it. Maybe therein lies the problem solution. Maybe I need to look at that solution again from a different angle, and we might manage to get on top of that as well, but for now we're dealing with the hair, and that solution is doable because I can hand that over to somebody else, pay them the money, and as long as I can raise €4,000 disposable income, I literally hand the problem over to somebody else. They'll transplant. I'll hand my body over. They can be injecting me whatever they have to, and small bit of discomfort for a month or so, and maybe there is a chance that I can sort it out, and then that will help me gain confidence as well. It does. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel you look good, if you think you look good, then you feel good, don't you? That's a no-brainer. I'm sure maybe that might help then with pulling back from the table as well, when I see my flowing locks of I might be the next. I might decide, my God, you you need to pull back from the table now as well. Yeah, I don't know. That's my own story anyway, and I'm sticking to it. And if there's any men or women that want to make a comment on it, I've kind of flagged it out there to various people, and it's amazing the attitude or the opinions that come back. Because like people, I'd ask them, tell me, shoot straight, like tell me what you think, and it's like 4 out of 5 have been really supportive, and the people that have really supported me, I never expected it from them, and then the 1 out of 5 will say that I thought would support it was very you're making a joke out of it and mocking and completely unsupportive. And then there was other people that I said it to that you'd be thinking to yourself that they're going to think that you're half mad, but no, they said go for it, do it. Oh yes, and I wish I had the courage, and yeah, go and do it, and and admire, saying that they're admiring me for it and admiring me for even talking about it. And sure, I mean, it's not that big a taboo subject, surely be to God. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The camera now is after going crooked. She's in the height of the whole thing. No, the camera got a fit. Yeah, that's where I am. And like I say, I'd like to thank everybody genuinely who has watched the videos up to now. But I will be kind of the last one, because I can see the numbers. There was a great reaction to the first one because I went on Instagram and asked people. But like the second one, there's like something like 55 people have watched it, 55 views. The third one is at something like 35 views, and you can see the pattern there yourself, which is fair enough. You can just try and put them up there, and if they gain a bit of traction, well and good, and if they don't, obviously people aren't interested, so, and that they're entitled to that. Really want to thank the people, because I know at this stage there will be some people who've watched all of them, and I really want to thank you for that, because, and I still get people coming up to me in the street and talking, saying that they're enjoying them. So some people do, and I really, really do. I do appreciate that. I appreciate the people who are watching and following them, really and truly, and genuine thank you for that. But there's quite and it's not that I'm trying to play it to thousands of people or anything, but it's just I need to kind of maybe take a break now, because at this stage we're coming up to Easter. Barnett says I need to put my time and effort into all of that now, and even for me there's quite a lot of work in kind of putting the clips together, because I'm not much good at that, and make a little thumbnail, which my old thumbnails make no sense, but at least I still have to make them up, and then edit a small, there's no editing, actually just joining everything together, the clips, but then you have to try and, that's in Canva, and then you have to upload them onto your computer, and then you have to upload them onto Instagram and add or not Instagram, YouTube, and add the thumbnail and stuff, and there's a good bit of time in it, so you'd be motivated if there was a lot more people watching, but for now I'll take a break and step back from it, and I'll be getting stuck into Barnett's, and by the time you're watching this, Barnett's will definitely be up and running. Will I go for the hair transplant? Well, I suppose this is what you could call the cliffhanger. If we said that there was 16 episodes in Series 1, we can definitely say that there's going to be a cliffhanger, because I don't know myself, but I'm thinking seriously about it. I really am. And when I get something into my head, I've no bother in doing it, like I've no bother like that. If I get a notion, I've no bother in acting on it, but we'll see. So that'll be the cliffhanger, and you can please keep an eye on the Instagram page, which is Follow the Gull, and if I'm going to go ahead with it, I'll definitely be posting away on Instagram about that. So that's kind of where I am. I'm in Clonakilty now, so by the time I put all this together, we'll be up to 27 or 8 minutes, and I think that's enough of your time. I hope the microphone has worked, and like I say, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and somewhere down the line we might fire up the camera again for YouTube and make another series of videos, and we'll see what's going on. Still in the middle of trying to recreate Eddie. That hasn't happened yet, but we're making progress, real progress, and who knows, the next time I come in front of the camera, I might have flowing locks of hair. Go on, we'll talk again.